coming to you live from the Putasos podcast.
Oh no! Just slapped him like that!
All right, guys, welcome back. Putasos podcast, episode number 16. I'm Joe.
Sam.
And I got a special guest today. This is Drew from Hi-Fi IQ. He's got his own podcast. This guy kicks ass. He's very smart. He knows what he's talking about. And it's a pleasure to have you on.
Go check him out.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah,
Good to be here.
Hell yeah. So we're going to kick off the new year. First thing we're going to go over is we're going to go over the card on the 13th. It's going to be at the Apex. That one is headlined by, is it Ankalaev, and Johnny Walker. So that's going to be a super fun card to kick off the year. So we're going to go over that, do some predictions, and then we'll go into some top fives per usual. But all right, kick the card off. So the card, the main card stacked. There's a lot of key fights on that card for the rest of the year, especially for the flyweight division. But the first thing we want to do is the last one of the prelim, and that's going to be Arlovsky versus Waldo. So Arlovsky, older dude, UFC vet, been in the game for a long time. Waldo's kind of a younger dude coming up. He's got heavy hands. Me and Sam were talking about it. We think Waldo's gonna get him by KO. What do you got on that one, brother?
It's hard to disagree with you guys on that one, man. Arlovsky is like 96 years old. He's been fighting since before I was born, man. But it's tough because every time he comes out, we always think like, all right, he's got to be done after this one, and he just keeps rolling, man. So
Just keeps fighting.
Smart money definitely is not on Arlovsky for this one. So I can't say I disagree, but hey, if Arlovsky gets it done, that's just how he rolls, man.
Yeah, for real. That guy should fight on 300 at that. He deserves it at this point.
I would be pretty
Man, seriously, there's that. And they were talking about we got Jim Miller on this card too. He's been on 100 and 200 already, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can see some of those throwbacks.
Yeah. Dana promised him a spot on 300, so I'm sure we'll see him on 300.
I hope so, man.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Hell yeah. Well, let's go to the next fight. This is
So that one I got second round KO
by Waldo.
by Waldo.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hell yeah.
I'll take that.
All right, cool. First fight of the main card. This is Phil Haas versus it's Ferreira. So this is a really good fight. They're both coming off losses, but Ferreira, he's a really, really heavy hitter. Before this fight, he was undefeated, and he was all finishes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be an exciting fight. Just me looking from the outside in, I think Phil's been a little chinny before, and I think outside of Ferreira's last fight, he's a quick starter. He has a lot of first round finishes, and I think that he's gonna get it done by finish.
He's been on a roll, man. He's one of those guys that's like flying under the radar as far as how good that he actually is. And Haas is no slouch either. He's like you were saying, he's kind of chinny, but he's one of those dudes that, if they get into a firefight first couple minutes, it could go either way. Phil Haas, like, it's hard to bet. It's hard to bet on him. It's hard to take him because you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes he comes out and he looks like a world beater, and sometimes he comes out and looks flat. Sometimes he just gets pieced up super quick, and it's tough. My heart is with Phil Haas, but I think smart money for sure on Ferreira.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that too. Especially an undefeated guy coming off an L. He's coming in hot for this one. So I am excited to see that one though. I'm definitely not counting Phil Haas out of this one at all. So
I think
that's good. Yeah, they got a couple fight of the night candidates on this one. That one's in there for sure.
For sure. I think it's a first round finish either way.
Either way,
That's what I'm thinking. Either side.
I'll take under 1.5 for sure.
Yeah.
under 1.5.
Okay.
All right, next one. This one's exciting. So Ricky Simon versus Mario Batista. Ricky Simon. So we just did an interview with Alex Perez. He trains directly with him, so I know how tough their camp is and their group that they have together.
209, baby.
Yes, sir. Yep. Mario Batista, he's no scrub though. He's a solid fighter. This one was a really tough one for me to pick. Try not to be biased, but I think I got Ricky Simon on this one. I think he's just been in the fire a little bit longer. He's been in the UFC for a good minute now. They're both experienced fighters. kind of yet to hit that elite level on the top of the division, but I think Ricky Simón gets this one done. I think it's going to be a decision.
I'm with you on that, dude. I was looking at this one, and it's so hard to pick because Batista is been rolling. He's got a lot of finishes. Ricky was rolling too before that Song Yadong fight, and that Song Yadong fight was, that's a tough one for guys. When you get on a roll and you're getting up to the starting to crack into the top 10, top 5, and you hit a roadblock like that, and it's not even like real close. Like at no point were we like, oh, Ricky Simon might have this one. Song Yadong's just like, he just steamrolled it, man. And but he was rolling before that too. He had I think 5-fight win streak also. He had finishes. This one I'd say this one is the front runner for fight of the night, because this one,
I agree.
You have no idea what's going to happen with this one. This one, I think for sure, I'm leaning towards Ricky Simon just because he's been up there. He fought Song Yadong. He's been closer to the top than Batista has, but Batista's this is a tough one.
Solid dude. Solid dude. What do you got, Nana? Do you got it by you got Ricky as well?
I'm gonna take Ricky Simon. Yeah, I'm gonna say second round submission.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Like it.
I like it. All right, cool.
I get a hot take or two every now and
Yeah.
You do, bro. You do. We're looking through all your stuff. Yeah.
then. I'm no stranger to the hot takes, baby.
Oh yeah.
I'm there with you.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, next one. This is a really fun one. It's Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. Jim Miller, absolute vet in the game. Like you said, he's fought on 100. He's fought on 200. He's probably going to fight on 300. Hopefully this fight, goes safe and sound so he can be on that 300 card. But this is a really interesting fight. I was kind of torn on this one. Who do you got on this one, and how do you got this one?
I am 100% not trying to be super biased or anything, but I wanted to see Jim Miller fight on 300 so badly. I hope that it is a first round KO for Jim Miller. I hope he walks out there. I hope he takes 0 damage. I hope he's 100% fresh for UFC 300. I was surprised when I saw that he was on this one, because I was like, man, they've been saying that he's on 300. 300's just a few months away, and if something bad happens, he might be on a suspension by the time it rolls around. So I'm hoping, I'm praying that Jim Miller just, I hope his opponent slips and falls on the way out, and Jim Miller 100% fresh. I really want to see Jim Miller, and he's always been a submission guy, but he's been knocking dudes out lately.
Mm-hmm. He has been knocking dudes out lately. I was actually thinking, I think Jim Miller's going to get it done by submission. I think it's going to be a little bit later. I think it's going to be over 1.5 rounds. You're probably going to see in the second half of the second round or third round as well. Bet of the game too, bro. He knows how to fight 3-round fights. He knows how to fight 5-round fights. He's fought everybody, so I can see him just getting this one done. Again, like you said, I hope it's just whatever way it happens. It's just short suspension. No injuries. Ready for 300.
That's a good pick. He hasn't had a submission in a minute too. That's what he's known for. When he was getting going early on and before UFC 100, he was a submission dude, and it's been a while. It's suspect. Why? How come you haven't submitted anybody? What's going on?
Seriously.
I like that pick though. Over 1.5 submission. That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Really excited for that one. This next one for me, I mean, I'm a little guy, bro. I wrestled in college. I wrestled in high school. I was always a smaller guy in the weight, so I love watching the small weight classes. This one for me excites me a lot. This is Ankalaev versus Manel. I don't know if it's Cape or Cape. Some people say it different, but this fight is a key fight in the flyweight division right now, because you have Moreno fighting in a couple months here. He's fighting Amir. And if Moreno wins that fight, I don't know if they're going to pair him up with Pantoja for a 4th time, especially since it's so soon. So if Moreno takes that spot, I think winner of this fight probably gets a title shot. It's warranted, I think, but Who knows how this one goes? I really like this fight. I like the way Manel fights, but after seeing his last one, he did get hit quite a bit by someone that wasn't supposed to really give him that business, you know? So I don't know how I feel about Manel. I got Nikolai. I think it's going to be I think he can put him away. So
I agree, man. That last one was, I mean, Manel he was supposed to be that dude that was untouchable. He was supposed to walk through that last fight like super easy. He was on that card with, everybody else who was talking mad shit, and he was that. I mean, he won. He was dominant, but it wasn't like that go out and talk mad shit type of performance. He got touched. He was, it went on the whole 3 rounds, I believe, wasn't it? And he just didn't back up, the hype that he had on him going into that fight for sure. And this can be another tough one. The smaller guys, they can go for days. They're just, little firecrackers the whole time. They don't ever get tired. It's just nonstop action. And, very rare are there like, super quick knockouts in those ones too. So this one's definitely in the running for fight of the night too. If it gets heavy and gets heated, I think I haven't looked at the odds for it yet. I think Manel is probably favored,
Slightly,
at least.
slight favor.
Is he? Yeah. So,
yeah.
I think good money bet against him on this one too, because after coming off of that last one, he did not look like he should have been as big a favorite as he was, and I mean he's really got to do something for this one in order to get that hype back, in my opinion, because he was rolling before and then. Just talking a lot, had a lot of, had a lot of curse words, had a lot of expletives that I'm not going to repeat any of them, but he had a lot of expletives in that post-fight interview, and that just didn't seem like the type of fight that you give that kind of interview after. You got to humble yourself a little bit and be like, all right, I know I'm the shit, but that wasn't my best shit, and so I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna put it on this next guy. I think these odds, though, that's a good pick. I think going against Manel on this one would definitely be profitable, if any, because he's gonna come out. He's either gonna look how he did in the last one, or he's gonna put it to him, and this is gonna be a tougher fight than the last one. So this would be the one to bet against him on.
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to get your opinion on this because I talked about it right now, but let's just say Moreno, this is a little sidetrack, but let's say Moreno wins his next fight in Mexico City. And do you think the winner of this fight will get a title shot, or do you think they'll have to do one more? And then if they don't get the title shot, who do you think would get it?
That's tough. I agree with you. It's going to be kind of hard giving Moreno another shot right off the bat too, because they got history, and also it's kind of like the same dynamic they had with Figueiredo, where it's like, those big rivalries aren't prevalent in those smaller divisions. You got like Sean O'Malley and Cheeto, but as far as like the big money making rivalries for the smaller divisions, there weren't a whole lot of them until Moreno and Figueiredo did their thing. And I think if they can kind of get the hype built up for another Moreno Pantoja fight, I would see them trying to go with the one that makes the most money, that brings in the most eyeballs. And let's say if Manel Cop wins this one, I don't think anybody is, I haven't heard anybody saying like, oh, we need a Pantoja Cop title fight.
True.
But Moreno's the fucking, he's the first ever Mexican-born champion. Who doesn't love Moreno? Everybody fucking loves Moreno, So nobody's gonna be upset if Moreno gets a title shot. You could give Moreno a title shot every single time, whether he wins or loses, and we'd all be cool with it, Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Moreno a title shot if he comes in and gets a a decisive, like dominant wins. It would be probably in their best interest to, try to pick the one that makes the most sense as far as like money and pay-per-view sales and everything. Probably wouldn't headline a pay-per-view. They'd have, maybe like a light heavyweight title fight over it or something. But I think if it depends on how this one goes with Manel Kopp and what was his name, Nikolai.
Yeah,
The neither of them really have like a whole lot of hype behind them. Neither of them really have like that like game changing amount of eyeball coming in, swarming in, wearing their t-shirts and holding up signs and stuff for them. So, and you get that with Brandon Moreno every time. So I think if Brandon Moreno can do something decisive and dominant, I think that they're going to give him the shot every time. And I'm with it. I'm cool with that.
Dang, that was actually a really good take. That's some high fight IQ shit right there. Cool. All right. Next fight on the card. This is the main event. You got Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. This is a run back. They fought a couple cards ago. Ankalaev threw a knee to Johnny Walker's face. Johnny Walker said he was good. Ref didn't think so. Waved it off. So tons of controversy there. And they're going to run it back. We got to see about a half a round. A little over a half a round, right? A little over half a round, I believe. I think it was like 3 minutes and 3 seconds or something. So, we got a little taste of how the fight already goes. I don't think we saw enough to really make a really, really good decision, but just based off everything I have in front of me, I think Ankalaev's going to win the fight. I think it's going to be somewhat dominant, really dominant decision or a sneaking a submission in there. And there's, Johnny Walker's a little out the box though, so who knows?
For sure. I agree with you, dude. That's it. So we remember the that beef and that rematch that Ankalaev had with Kutalaba, and in their first fight, everybody was kind of like, I don't know how this is really gonna go because Ankalaev's, he's a world beater and everything, and Kutalaba was doing the same shit that Johnny Walker was doing, where he kind of started playing hurt and tried to rope-a-dope him a little bit. And then, the second fight comes around and Ankalaev just
cooks him.
Shuts that shit down quick. And I feel like this is, I feel like Johnny Walker should have learned from that and been like, this is not the dude that I play games with. I need to, I feel like when guys are doing that, and I'm not a fighter. I'm not judging anybody who does anything like that too. You gotta do what you gotta do to win. But I feel like when people are playing games like that, it's because they think like, I'm not really gonna be able to get this done if we just go skill for skill. I gotta find some kind of some extra shit to throw in there,
Yeah.
And it's, I think Johnny Walker does have the skills to be able to do it, but I just, based on that, I didn't feel like he was looking that confident. I didn't feel like he was I didn't feel like he was convinced, and if you're not convinced you're going to win the fight, I'm not convinced you're going to win the fight. So I got Ankalaev. I think he's going to get a TKO. I think it's probably going to be earlier, his fights whenever he is, especially when he's fired up going against someone like, Johnny Walker. They got beef. They got, they've been going back and forth on social media ever since. I feel like Ankalaev, he's gonna put it on him. He's gonna try to put it on him early, probably TKO. I'd say somewhere under 1.5. I don't see you going past 2 rounds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for my hot take, I got Johnny Walker in the second round. TKO.
Yeah, baby. I love it. Let's go.
That's a super hot take. No, yeah, that's a great point. That I kind of forgot about the Kutabala one because poor guy gets caught in these dang things, these rematches all the time.
Right, man. Like he's got to be fed up by now, man. He's ready to hurt someone for sure. But hey, Johnny Walker he's slick, man. He is slick. He's one of those dudes. If anybody is gonna capitalize off of playing games like that, Johnny Walker is the one to do it for sure.
Do you think after Pereira and
It's gotta be Jamal.
Jamal Hill? Do you think after Pereira and Jamal Hill fight, do you think winner of this one gets a title shot?
I could see that just because, Ankalaev, he had that fight with Blachowicz that went to a draw, and they never ran that back. He never got that second opportunity. Normally you get a title fight goes to a draw. They're going to eventually, run it back at some point, and that just kind of got brushed off as, it wasn't the worst fight ever, It wasn't like it was boring. It wasn't like Lewis and Ngannou type stuff. They were, him and
I was there.
excuse me, him and yeah, right. It was like we've seen way worse fights. Like we've seen fights where we're like, no, we don't want to see that shit again. And that I didn't feel like it was that bad of a fight to be like, okay, Ankalaev and Blachowicz never get a title shot ever again after that shit. But if he gets a very like dominant, emphatic win over Johnny Walker, either of them, I think if they get like a real like highlight reel type finish, they've both been knocking on the door for a title shot forever. And if you get Jamal Hill and Pereira squared off, say like, quarter 2, quarter 3 or so, I think that there's still time to maybe squeeze another one into and keep them active. So I could see if nobody else really like establishes themselves as the number one contender by the time like the second half of 2024 rolls around, I could see the winner of Ankalaev and Johnny Walker getting a title shot if they really show up this weekend.
Real quick, do you have a parlay going for that card?
That's a good question.
For this weekend?
For this weekend? Or, yeah.
Okay, so the undercard, there's a dude named Gaston Bolaños. He is fighting McGee. McGee is a training partner of Sean O'Malley and the MMA lab people and everything. Gaston Bolaños is a dude that I know from CSA out in California. He is like a fucking badass Muay Thai fighter turned MMA fighter. And so I think that one for sure is not going to go the distance. That someone's getting knocked out in that one. McGee just knocked out his last opponent on the same card that Sean O'Malley beat Sterling on. That one, damn, there's another one. Let me get my laptop real quick. I have one that's like kind of mixed with like some picks, and then I do a lot of rounds bets too. I do well on the over unders and all the because it's usually if I can't really decide who's gonna win, I can usually decide like when it's gonna finish. But I got Gaston Bolaños McGee fights. That one going under. I think it's probably going to be 2.5. It might be 1.5.
Yeah, tell us all about what you got for picks and stuff like that, because I know we didn't go over too much over the undercard. So if you have anything cool on that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I got you. And I'm not on any time constraints or anything. So if we start going too long, I got ADHD, so I'm known to fucking rant. And
you're good, bro.
And the weed doesn't help that either. I just get going and I don't know when to stop. So, if we start going too long or anything, don't be afraid to tell me to shut up.
No, you're good, bro. We're free. I think he got what?
I got 45 minutes. Plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Marcus McGee, Gaston Bolaños. It's a bantamweight fight, which those don't usually finish quick, but both of those dudes knock motherfuckers out. So I got that one going under 2.5. The Arlovsky and Waldo, that one, like, anytime I bet heavyweight fights to go down in the first round, I mean, the heavyweights always, they fall out anytime anybody gets touched. Anytime I bet them to go under, they always go to a decision. So I'm betting this. I'm betting Arlovsky and Costa to go over 1.5. What was the other one?
Yeah, that's facts, bro. Every time I bet on a finisher heavyweight, they know the distance. Every time.
Every fucking time, dude. That Derek Lewis and what was the dude, Almeida or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
they got nothing but finishes, and dude just fucking sits on them for 5
I
rounds.
picked Almeida by like second or third round submission or something, and I feel like he actually could have put him away too. He was just kind of bullying him.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Every single fucking time.
He was like transitioning in and out of spots, just picking on the guy, bro.
Bro, those are the types of fights where I'm fucking yelling at the like, bro, do something, please. Ricky Simon and Batista, that one I think is gonna go under 2.5. Magomed Ankalaev and Johnny Walker, I got that one going under 2.5. I don't know about the Nicolau and Cop fight because, you know, like we were saying, Cop should be finishing dudes the way that he talks, you know. And that last one was like, there ain't no way that you know, you talk that much shit and you just you go a decision like that. That's tough to call. Jim Miller and Gabriel Benitez, I got that one going under. I think there could be a lot of finishes on this one for sure.
I hope so.
But yeah, as far as like method of victories, Jim Miller by submission, Gaston Bolaños by KO, Magomed Ankalaev by KO, Waldo by KO. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might bet Waldo by decision.
You switch up to the heavyweight pick real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some of the rounds and the over unders I got going so far. I got to look a little deeper into them for the undercard finishes, but
Yeah.
that's what I got for the most part so far.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Let's go. All right, guys. You know what time it is. We're gonna do a couple top 5 segments. This one's gonna be top 5 best performances ever. So go ahead and kick us off, brother.
Number 5, the most recent one, we got Sean Strickland over Israel Adesanya. I don't know. I'm sure they're out there. I don't know one single person that picked Sean Strickland in that fight. I have no idea how anybody was able to pick that, but Sean Strickland coming out, the world on his shoulders, man, and he delivered. He did what nobody thought that he could do against one of the greatest middleweight champs of all time.
Yeah, Pereira picked him actually. Pereira was trying to. Pereira picked him.
Yeah, the ultimate troll.
All right, coming in at number 4, TJ Dillashaw versus Renan Barão. That was probably one of the most beautiful performances I've ever seen. The display of striking that he put on him was ridiculous. Head movement, switching stances, left hand, right hand, kicks. He was hitting him with everything, and he just beat him up so much that the ref had to step in and just bouncing his head off the cage. So that was a beautiful performance. I love watching TJ Dillashaw move, and his footwork's ridiculous. So that was a really good fight.
Coming in at number 3, we got the notorious Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez. This was for the double belt, for the double champ status, and he just put on a performance and cracked him, TKO'd him in the second round. Second round, I believe? Second round, right? Second round finish to get the double champ status. Iconic post-fight speech and one of the greatest performances that pretty much every MMA fan has seen or rewatched sometime.
That's facts.
Coming in at number 2, we have Anderson the Spider Silva versus Forrest Griffin. This was insane to watch. At this moment in time, that fight is where I was 100% convinced Anderson Silva is the Michael Jordan of MMA. That was one of the craziest things that we had ever seen from somebody who is known to just do crazy shit every single time out. Like, you watch an Anderson Silva fight and you're like, there's no way he's going to top the last one. Then he comes out and just stunts on Forrest Griffin. And Forrest Griffin there were, some talks that we've heard since then that Forrest might have been compromised going into into that fight, but we didn't know any of that going in. All that we knew was that Anderson Silva was moving up to fight a former light heavyweight champion and just completely went Neo in the Matrix on him. It was insane.
Yeah, he absolutely punked that.
He fucked him bad.
I love Forrest Griffin. He punked.
I love Forrest Griffin too, but
Dude, you can't not love Forrest Griffin,
Yeah.
but that's, you know, that was, you look at that, I remember it was like, what, UFC 101 or something like that, and there's, there was nobody in the world that was touching Anderson Silva after that fight.
Nope. All right, coming in at number 1, Cody Garbrandt beating up Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz at the time, and still arguably the bantamweight GOAT, but at the time, this guy was on a tear. He was the champ, vacated because he was injured, now because he lost, came back, won the belt. He had just came off a W of TJ Dillashaw. Like, he was the man. And for Cody Garbrandt to go in there and did what he did to him, dropped him multiple times, dodging his hits. I mean, it wasn't even close. He really punked him that whole
showboating the whole time.
Showboating, like, that was just like one of those performances that you'll never forget. That's why, in my opinion, that's number 1. Next one, guys, is top 5 fights that you would show a new MMA fan. Coming in at number 5, that's going to be Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 2. This was a badass fight. Nate Diaz just submitted Conor in the first round, second round?
No.
Second.
Round. But anyway, they ran it back. It was a stand-up fight the whole time. They were going at it, throwing bombs. Nate Diaz was taunting him. Conor McGregor was cracking him. One of those classic fights, both bloodied up and beat up, that you'll never forget. That was a good one.
Coming in at number 4, we got one of my personal favorite fights of all time. Chris the Crippler Lieben versus Yoshihiro Akiyama. If you guys did not see this fight, I highly recommend you go watch it. It was the co-main event for Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin, another fantastic fight. Chris Lieben on an absolute tear, taking this fight on short notice and just completely giving it everything that he's got. Yoshihiro Akiyama, coming off of the Alan Belcher fight, was a hot prospect at the time, was supposed to fight Vanderlei Silva. Silva drops out. Lieben steps in on like 2 weeks' notice, ends up just giving it one of the most incredible performances of his career. It was a back and forth fight the whole time. They rocked each other. That you had no idea who was going to win this fight. Chris Lieben, known for being a KO guy, ends up securing a triangle choke submission in the 3rd round. One of the craziest fights that you will ever see.
Yeah, throwback too. Classic.
Coming in at number 3, we got Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. This was an all-out fire fight. This is one of my favorite fights of all time. I feel like it was pretty back and forth. Gaethje maybe was getting overs most of the time, but just constant knockdowns, constant just absolute brawl to the fullest.
2 absolute stud wrestlers that did not wrestle.
That did not wrestle at all the entire fight.
One shot, Gaethje rolled out of it, and it kind of was what it was. But yeah, that was the absolute.
Chandler is the king of getting crazy takedowns and ending up on bottom. I don't know how he does. Every single time, man. He'll wrap up a single leg, flip dudes through the air, and always ends up on the wrong side of it. I don't know how he pulls it off.
That's funny. All right, coming in at number 2, Robbie Lawler versus Roy McDonald. This is an absolute classic. This was like one of the bloodiest fights I've probably ever seen. It was ugly. You had Robbie Lawler's lip literally cut from the top all the way down. He was talking and the thing was like flapping around. Roy McDonald was all busted up, broke his nose. That was just a savage fight, and they both had like really dominant moments to where the fight could have been over, but they both just like kept fighting through it until eventually, Robbie Lawler put him down. But that was a badass fight. If you want to become an MMA fan, that is a must-have on the list to watch that one.
And capping it off at number 1, we have the greatest fight of all time, Dan Henderson versus Mauricio Shogun, who won for the number 1 spots.
Yeah.
This was a very anticipated fight between two Pride legends, two people that everybody always wanted to see fight each other, never able to make it happen until they got into the UFC. Dan Henderson was starting off strong, rocked Shogun in the first round. Shogun able to rally back, rock Dan Henderson back. Dan Henderson then rocked Shogun again in the third round. The most back and forth fight that you could ever ask for. Shogun ends the fight in mount, had Dan Henderson in a lot of trouble towards the end of the fight, but Hendo was able to squeak out the victory on the judges' scorecards, and we all were blessed with possibly the greatest fight of all time. If you are a new MMA fan, this is an absolute must. You have to watch that fight.
Yep, I see you got Hendo in the back too on your posters.
You know it, Dan the man.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. Well, bro, that's pretty much all we got. Is there anything else you wanted to go over? Did you want to talk about anything? You good?
Dude, shit, I'm good. I'm great, man. Thank you guys so much for this. How was your guys' holidays and shit? Good?
It was good, bro. Yeah, we just kicked it with family. We always do like a friend's Thanksgiving and a friend's Christmas, so we hold it here at like my house. So that was cool. But yeah,
Nice.
it's chill. How was yours, man?
It was good. It was good. It was chill. You know, just it's smoking and eating a shit ton of food. That's my favorite time of year. You know, I'm getting pretty good at that. So
You
The,
train too? Yeah,
the-
you train, right?
yeah. I've been doing martial arts since I was like 4 years old. So I'm always training. I used to be a boxing and kickboxing trainer. I was a karate and taekwondo instructor like way back in the day. And so it's always, you know, I've been kind of cruising right now. But you know, at some point here in the next couple of years or so, I'll probably take another fight or something. So I'll get back into it. But yeah, just staying busy, working with all the house call boys, and you know, getting some interviews going here and there, and just staying busy, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys, that was it for episode number 16. Drew, we appreciate you coming on, man. You always bring good stuff to the table. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. We got TikTok, we got everything out there. So you guys already know what it is, Putasos Podcast. Check out High Fight IQ. That's his name for a reason. The guy knows what he's talking about. I know you have Instagram, but what else do you have?
Instagram, High Fight IQ, TikTok, High Fight IQ, YouTube, High Fight IQ, Spotify, High Fight IQ. Anywhere that you type in High Fight IQ, I'm gonna pop up eventually.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go, man. Well, thank you for calling in, bro. Again, we appreciate you. Definitely look forward to doing more of these in the future and growing both of our channels, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
Hey, anytime, man. It's a pleasure. I'm a big fan of you guys' stuff, dude. Anytime I can come chit chat with you guys, I'm down.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, thank you again, bro. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. I appreciate it all, and keep doing the damn thing, dude. You guys are killing it. I love all the content. I love all the reels, all the shorts, everything you guys are doing. You're doing the damn thing, man. Keep it up.
Hell yeah,
Same to you, brother.
Yeah, you too, brother.
Seriously, appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Anytime, guys. Thank you. You guys have a good one.
Putasos Podcast out.